Gold Gate collision, 2 dead, lingering questions. Before the 2 sessions, civil resistance surges in China, anti-Xi sentiment spread. Hospital collapse in Jiangsu exposed by video footage. Shanghai security breach reveals intricate details of CCP cyber attacks on the West. Employees expose confiscation of $30 million in private shares at Yanghe distillery. Gold Gate collision, 2 dead, lingering questions. Wu Zijia, a commentator on Taiwan's current affairs program Critical Moment, stated that the collision incident in the waters near Kinmen, Taiwan on February 14 has rapidly intensified. China has dispatched enforcement vessels into waters managed by Taiwan. Now, the U.S. State Department, Department of Defense, and White House have all made statements, hoping that both China and Taiwan will exercise restraint and prevent the situation from escalating. Wu Zijia also analyzed the causes and consequences of this incident, as well as the hidden motives behind it. He pointed out that the reason Taiwan's Coast Guard administration forcibly expelled Chinese fishing boats illegally entering Taiwanese waters is due to clear directives from the government. This is a result of the sharp deterioration in cross-strait relations. China recently altered the flight route of the M503 airway, infringing on Taiwan's sovereignty. Therefore, the Taiwan Coast Guard administration has intensified law enforcement accordingly, leading to escalating conflicts between the two sides. China had long anticipated this situation, and Taiwan's response fell right into China's cunning scheme. After the conflict occurred, China could justify sending enforcement vessels into the waters near Kinmen. In fact, the Chinese government has always premeditated various conflicts with Taiwan. The United States is now closely monitoring this conflict, with 5 U.S. aircraft carriers deployed in the western Pacific Ocean, ready to respond to potential incidents. Before the 2 sessions, civil resistance surges in China, anti-Xi sentiment spread. With less than 2 weeks remaining until the opening of the National People's Congress and the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, graffiti opposing the driver has surfaced in many parts of China, drawing widespread attention. Slogans in Xi'an streets proclaim no drivers leading the country, while graffiti under the names of Pedestrian Party and Chinese Wise Movement call for opposition to Driver Sovereignty Society, sparking discussions online. Netizens interpret these graffiti as metaphorical criticism of Xi Jinping, seen as calls for his removal from office. While some argue that these metaphors are difficult to understand, others admire the courage behind them and hope for more cities to respond. This is not the first appearance of such graffiti. As early as January this year, a person known as Lonely Sower in Xi'an initiated graffiti under the theme of My Rights, emphasizing the people's resistance against the Driver Sovereignty Society. In October last year, with Peng Li's protest banners hanging on the Xifang Bridge in Beijing and the subsequent outbreak of the blank paper revolution, it marked the first large-scale civil protest since the 89-64 incident, expressing dissatisfaction with the political status quo and the desire for freedom and dignity. These actions not only demonstrate the will of civil resistance but also reflect strong demands for political reform. Despite government suppression, the voices of resistance and criticism from the people persist, showing citizen courage and determination for change. Ahead of the 2 sessions, cryptic anti-Xi and anti-communist slogans have been spotted across China. The Secretary of Wudao Ali's assistance ends in failure, Zhang Yujin's stock market disaster, the unresolved case of dying in prison, Lu Liang marries 4 wives in succession, turning a prospective daughter-in-law into a wife, Zhu Songzhou's career prospects dim, causing a stir as he walks by. Hospital collapse in Jiangsu exposed by video footage. On the evening of February 20th, multiple videos circulated online showing the collapse of the ceiling in the outpatient hall of the First People's Hospital of Xi'an City, Jiangsu Province. The hall was left in ruins, with the collapsed structure approximately 4 to 5 stories high, falling onto the first floor, leaving debris such as rubble, aluminum alloy materials, and blocks of cement scattered everywhere. Local netizen Jiang Hu Mingyu recounted, at 11 p.m. last night, 20th, there was a loud noise, and I thought it was some equipment related to the air conditioning. It scared me. I'm a local resident living next to this hospital. Xi'an has been experiencing hailstorms these days. The outpatient hall is not built with reinforced concrete but rather a type of rain shelter for aesthetics. The collapsed structure was the rain shelter. However, this doesn't excuse responsibility. We were just lucky that there were no casualties. Reportedly, the collapsed structure was the glass rain shelter of the outpatient hall, and fortunately, it occurred at the end of outpatient hours. Staff from the First People's Hospital of Xi'an City told mainland media that the collapse was due to severe weather, as it was freezing rain, an occurrence not seen for many years. Currently, maintenance work is underway in the collapsed area of the outpatient hall. Some expressed relief, saying, "Luckily, it happened at 10 p.m. and no one was injured. If it had occurred during the day, the consequences would have been unimaginable. It's not even as sturdy as my thatched house. This should be thoroughly investigated. It smells like a substandard construction project." Shanghai security breach reveals intricate details of CCP cyber attacks on the West. Recently, a software development platform in the United States published a set of data from Shanghai's Xi'an Information Technology Company, which works for the Chinese Ministry of Public Security, exposing the details of how the CCP conducts overseas cyber attacks. In recent days, a large number of internal documents from Xi'an, a Chinese cybersecurity company working for the Ministry of Public Security of the CCP, have been leaked, allegedly due to dissatisfaction among employees with salaries and company practices. These massive documents were discovered last Sunday, February 18th, by Taiwanese security researcher Azaka Sekai and shared on the social media platform X. The leaked documents revealed that Xi'an's service scope is extensive, having infiltrated or attacked entities such as the Indian Ministry of Defense, NATO, and the UK National Crime Agency, stealing sensitive information from many countries' judicial domains, and conducting long-term infiltration of neighboring countries' telecommunications companies. Senior current affairs commentator Tang Jingyuan commented, "We can see that Xi'an is a typical product of the CCP's military-civilian integration. Although it appears to be a private enterprise, in essence, it provides many services such as network attacks and hacking for the CCP government. Their penetration and attacks overseas are extensive, and Xi'an is just the tip of the iceberg." The biggest CCP leak case. CCP Ministry of Public Security Red Hackers exposed, Xi'an employees reveal secrets via WeChat messages. Collective rebellion? FBI deconstructs CCP hackers. Kinmen incident ferments again. Pink supporters not buying it. Is the CCP fearful? News Talk, NTD Television. Employees expose confiscation of $30 billion in private shares at Yanghe Distillery. Amid the backdrop of the CCP's nationalization and privatization campaign, rumors are circulating online that Yanghe Distillery, the third largest liquor producer in China, is forcibly confiscating and nationalizing the 30 billion renminbi worth of private shares owned by its employees. Local authorities are continuously detaining the employees who hold shares, as well as their children. In January of this year, rumors surfaced online about the impending confiscation of the 30 billion renminbi worth of private shares at Yanghe Distillery. Insiders at Yanghe responded to this by issuing a statement through mainland media to debunk the rumors and threatening to collect relevant materials and report to the police to investigate the rumormongers. However, individuals involved continue their online activism on the American Notion platform, continuously updating information. They have created a Notion page to denounce the repression by local authorities and urge other threatened shareholders to join the resistance, providing evidence of the authorities' illegal actions. They also continue to spread relevant content on various social media platforms both domestically and internationally. In their complaint materials, the rights-advocating employees stated that under the guise of investigating the issue of restructuring, the Discipline Inspection Commission of the Communist Party of China in Xi'an City classified the 18% of Yanghe shares held by long-serving employees, valued at approximately 30 billion renminbi, as loss of state-owned assets during the restructuring process of Yanghe years ago. Therefore, they demanded that these long-serving employees voluntarily relinquish their shares and transfer their private property to the Xi'an Municipal Finance Bureau free of charge. According to the materials, during the restructuring of Yanghe Distillery 20 years ago, a 3-3 system shareholding structure was established, with approximately 30% of the shares held by state-owned assets, 30% by management, and the remaining 30% by public shareholders. The restructuring process was approved at various levels by the authorities, with the Xi'an municipal government explicitly stating in documents that it was willing to take all responsibilities. However, These shares held by long-serving employees are now suddenly classified as loss of state-owned assets and are being forcibly reclaimed.